Should you invest in stocks or pay off your mortgage early? Most people think this is a simple math problem, but it isn't, because what looks best on paper can be the worst decision for your real life. And I'll share with you a moment from my past that proves it, a moment that completely changed the way I see mortgages. We'll get to that in a bit, but first in this video, we're going to break down when it actually makes sense to invest, when it makes sense to eliminate the mortgage, and the one factor almost everyone ignores, even though it changes everything. By the end, you'll see why two people with the same income can make opposite choices and both be right. Before we get to the story of my family's home, let's get some context. You probably noticed it. Interest rates are the highest they've been in years. Stocks are up, home prices are way up, doubling in 5 years in some cases. Cost of living in general is absolutely up. We are living in a financial environment where one small decision, where to put those leftover dollars, let's say $500 every month, can change your entire net worth 10, 20, even 30 years from now. But here's what no one tells you. There's a hidden emotional cost in this decision. It's why people get into arguments online about this topic and still walk away confused. As someone who lived through the 2008 fallout, I can tell you firsthand, the emotional side matters more than most people think. But first, the math. Hi, I'm Raj, and on this channel we talk about money, and in this video, a little investing and long-term decisions that affect your future self and all the people you care about. Very, very casual. Here's the truth. What you do with your extra money each month can change your entire financial trajectory. Investing it can make you rich. Paying off your home can make you safe. But which one matters more for you? Let's break down the numbers first, because the numbers reveal something surprising. To keep this simple, let's use this scenario. A $500,000 mortgage, a 30-year fixed rate, 5% interest, and the reason why I chose that is because current rates are about 6 or 7%. Some of you watching might have gotten a super low rate closer to 3% a few years ago, so 5 is a happy middle ground. That scenario gives us a monthly payment of $2,684.11. The total interest we'd pay over 30 years comes out to $466,278.92. for a total cost of $966,278.92. Now imagine you have $500 left over every month. You can either pay extra toward the mortgage or invest it in the S&P 500. So let's see what happens. For option 1, paying $500 each month lets you pay off the home 8 years and 8 months early. You save $152,896.06 in interest. And you unlock 8 years and 8 months of not having a mortgage payment. That's 8.6 years multiplied by $2,684.11 every month, which comes out to just over $277,000 in cash flow freed up. But more importantly, you now have $3,184.11 per month you can invest. That's the old mortgage payment and the extra $500. If you invest that money for those 8 years and 8 months at 10% returns, you end up with $490,117.74. Now for option 2, investing from day one. If instead you invest the $500 monthly for the first 30 years at 10% returns, you end up with $986,964.14 invested. And the home still gets paid off on schedule after 30 years. Here's the breakdown in scenario 1, where the mortgage gets paid off early. The house costs about $150,000 less. The home is paid off 8.6 years early, and there's a nice investment portfolio sitting at about $500,000. In scenario 2, the home costs over $966,000. The home is paid off in 30 years, but the investment portfolio is almost double the amount. And one huge caveat here. The bigger difference between your own personal interest rate and the market returns over the decades is a huge factor for your own numbers. More on this in a second. For our scenario, on paper, investing looks better. But here's where everything falls apart, and this is where my story comes in. Sometime in the early 2010s, I went off to college. Keep in mind this is right after 2008. Stocks had already started their recovery, but we were in the middle of a global financial crisis, and normal families like mine and yours were still feeling the effects of the subprime mortgage crisis. My parents were still able to hold on to their home for longer than most, but the decision was made to sell the house because the business my parents ran, like every business everywhere at the time, was seeing less cash flow. The house, even though it had tall, fresh white walls and high ceilings, no cracks in the driveway, huge green yard, it was an expense that became risky to have. And I came home for the first time from college to a for sale sign in the front lawn. It was oddly tall. I can remember that they came back that same weekend to hammer it in more, so I got back home on a Friday evening. Saturday morning, my alarm clock was this hammering from the front lawn. I don't think my parents really knew how to tell me since I was out of the house. I mean, phone call, text message, I don't know what the best answer was. I think they decided on in person, but I'm pretty sure they didn't know that sign was going to be there by the time I got there. So I learned instantly in a very mildly traumatic way that home was not as safe as I thought it was because of some invisible forces known as a mortgage and the economy. If that mortgage didn't exist on that home, I don't think we would have moved. And I can say with 100% certainty, I would be living a different life, especially financially. So anytime there's this back and forth on pay off a loan versus investing in stocks, I always lean to pay the loan off if you can. Because once that mortgage is gone, as long as you pay the taxes and maintain it, the house is still yours and you can live in it. And because there's no loan, once you make more money, there's nothing else to do with the money but spend it or invest it. If you're in that position to pay off a mortgage, you probably have no other debt and have healthy cash flow. The emotional and psychological return isn't measured in percentages, it's measured in peace. But here are the real-life problems with the math. The numbers don't tell the full story. Here's what you need to consider. Number one, starting early matters. Whether you're investing or paying off extra, the earlier you start, the bigger the reward, and any delay is going to reduce the potential benefits of early mortgage payoff or investing. Number two, a 10% return isn't guaranteed. Some decades could be 14%, some could be 4%, some could be negative. Your mortgage rate is fixed. You know the cost of your loan up front, which means you know your guaranteed rate of return on your extra payments. Everything else is a risk we have no control of. Number three, the math assumes your income stays stable for 30 years. And look, long story short, life does not stay the same, especially for 30 years. And number four, the math ignores lump sums, tax refunds, bonuses, inheritance. These can change every number we talked about. So what should you do? Here's the truth. If you're even in this position to choose between paying extra or investing, you're already doing great financially. Most people never get to make this choice. You're doing well, and you should be proud of that, no matter what anyone says. Paying off your mortgage early gives you certainty, peace, lower risk, and a guaranteed return equal to your loan's rate. Investing gives you higher potential returns, but also higher risk, higher volatility, and a bigger, longer-term upside. If your personality leans towards safety, debt freedom will feel like winning. If your personality leans towards growth, investing may feel more natural. But remember what I said earlier, the moment I saw that for sale sign? Once your mortgage is gone, you never worry about where your head rests. You sleep differently, you think differently, you spend differently. And nobody I've ever met regrets paying off their mortgage early. Now here's the thing I noticed, and I can't be the only one. There's a ton of wealthy people out there who also don't have a mortgage. This is just food for thought, that maybe it's not if you pay it off or not. It's a matter of top-line cash flow, whether that's your business or your job, which they then use to decrease their personal risk. And what usually happens is that these people can now take bigger risks in business, the markets, and life without losing the things that they worked for. It's just something to consider. Let me know where you stand in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.